Alright. Mato's taking a piss. I'm setting a Piper like drifter. And we're gonna talk about fucking BERSERK.
You want like a water or something, man?
Yeah, actually I would.
Water?
Yeah. Oh, the liquor chiller's already good.
I hope you don't mind Zephyr Hills.
Zephyr Hills is fine water. Why?
No, I'm just saying because I like most water. I don't like the Dasani.
I haven't had Dasani in a hot minute.
I don't like the
I don't even
Dasani
remember
for
what it
whatever
tastes
reason. It like, because I think they add like electrolytes to it. And it just has. It's not that it has a taste, but it just like.
I know what you mean. It has like a hint of
yeah, it
something.
has like a hint of something, and it's just like I don't like it. I like my water.
Shit.
I like my water. You know, water.
Yeah.
I like the.
Okay.
Water is the greatest thing ever.
Okay. First, before we get into anything, let's find out what.
Are you recording?
Yeah, we're recording.
Recording on down. I'm gonna box myself.
Okay. Did we just beat this boss? Whatever was up here.
Yeah.
Is this a sky place?
Yeah, that is a sky place. We beat that boss.
All right, so we can dip, right, and then we go south.
I think so. I think so.
Let's see. And we probably have power up too, right? Enough to get a power up.
I don't remember.
No, yeah, I don't remember either. Let's see.
It's incredible that we're actually like that we actually have progress in this game. That always amazes me because like we're honestly just
yeah, we have
yeah
three,
we do
right?
we do
Nice.
because honestly like I always forget. So what's gonna be our next game?
I'll choose the power up this time. I don't know. I think it would be a really big challenge to jump into
Just do Dark Souls.
Dark Souls.
Do it. It's more straightforward, in a way, and I can guide you.
You know that I
know the ins and outs of that
game.
Like I've played that game so many times, and we ever want to play Dark Souls 2. That's the game I've never beaten because that game fucking sucks. But
really, that game sucks?
It doesn't suck, but that's definitely like the black sheep of the franchise.
That's interesting. I haven't heard anything bad about any Dark Souls game.
I know they're overall good, but it's just that game. That game feels cheap.
Really?
Yeah, like I feel like everything. If you die in Dark Souls, it's your fault. But that game feels like it's like cheap. But it'd be great because like I've never been in that game. I've tried. I've tried, but that game is just not fun. Like Dark Souls 1 and 3 are really good. Bloodborne is really good. Sekiro, I think that one you would enjoy too. Cause that one is like you're like a ninja, and that one has like a different play style to the rest of the games.
All right,
it's more of a parry type game.
All right, let's do it. If you think we do it, we should do it.
Yeah,
but
I don't think so. I think so. Yeah, I think so. Sorry.
But I would Damn. It's gonna. Do you want to no? Okay, if we're gonna do Dark Souls, we can't continue the
what?
We can't continue like the conversation gimmick.
Why not?
Because it's gonna be too hard.
I don't think so.
I'd like to really focus on the game.
Okay, we can.
Or like okay, like I'm open to brainstorming, but that's kind of where I stand on it right now. Like, because I think it's gonna be really hard to focus on that. Or no, it's gonna be really hard to try.
Well, maybe you
play that game and also be talking about the kind of shit we talk about.
We can probably. There's. I think once
this game is much easier than that.
Yeah.
So I feel like we can kind of do it
here. Yeah. I mean, we can. We didn't get kind of.
Maybe we can come up with another gimmick for that game, but whatever. That'll be. We can talk about that later. I would like to start talking about BERSERK.
All right, man. All right. So you're the newbie.
Yes.
Into the series. You've heard me and Danny talk about it for like probably years.
Yes, absolutely. I actually have. I remember you during the eclipse scene. It hit me.
Right.
Boom. Right when Femto was born. It hit me because I remember you making a reference when we were hotboxing so long ago, and you said you just got a femto her or some shit like that, and you're like, you do like this, right? It's just such a Mateo joke or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And
I'm like,
I don't know what femto is.
I was like, oh, you gotta just femto your girl, some shit like that.
You remember a little bit?
Yeah, I remember that. I was telling Danny that.
You at least believe that you said that, right?
I believe I said that. I think I would have said something like that.
It sounds exactly
dude, I want to femto your girl, some shit like that. And then you're like, what the. And now you understand.
So I remember it just hit me as soon as I made that scene amazing. Well,
it's not amazing that she gets raped, but it's a good scene.
It's
regardless.
It's amazing from a literary standpoint.
For what it means.
Yes. But it's not amazing for women's rights.
I think it's no. I mean, I think that is probably the most. I think that rape scene is very tasteful for it being a rape scene.
It is actually, yeah.
I don't think it's like done. I mean, it's. I don't think
his artwork is just incredible.
I don't think
his artwork is just so
like
good. It is
like it's not that it's. I'm not saying it's not done for shock. It is done for shock value, but I feel like there's a reason why he chose to make femto rape Casca.
Yeah,
in front of Guts. Like I feel like it's not.
I do.
Like,
I think it's thematic. I have something to say to that.
All right. Well.
To that, but I don't know if you just want me to say it now or if you kind of want to go
and build up from. Yeah, how do you want to do it? You want to do it chronologically, or you just want to just start?
Because I'll just make a comment because honestly, I might forget.
Shit, dude.
And I'll just say. I guess I'm just gonna wing it and just say what comes to me.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna. We can start there.
Yeah, you say it from there. We can probably work ourselves back.
Yeah. I mean, all right. Okay, so I think that is not. It's not fan service, like you're saying. It's not. It's all purposeful.
Yeah,
and I absolutely agree with that. What I gathered,
like it's definitely made to feel uncomfortable.
It's a poetic. It's like poetic, like tragicness or something. I'm not sure what you would call it. Or like the dramatic irony, but with like obviously that tragic element, that kind of suffering element that Berserk is all about.
Yeah,
because if you think about the dynamic between Griffith, Casca, and Guts, both idolized Griffith, right? Casca was in love with him, but even more pragmatic than that. She wanted to be of the utmost use to him.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, sure, she loved him, but she also had this super pragmatic, undying loyalty to him. Right. So there's an idolization to her, right? And then you have Guts, who kind of builds an organic relationship with Casca, right? And it's like reluctant, but she's reluctant,
she's very torn.
And so is Guts. So is Guts. Because Guts also has this view of Griffith that he's kind of essentially the only person who's been able to best him. He sees that he's like this strategic, like whatever mastermind. He grows this respect and also loyalty for Griffith. Which the beautiful scene that I like probably it might be, it's like a top 3 contender for my favorite scenes in Golden Age arc is where Griffith is talking to the princess like in the fountain.
His monologue. Yeah.
So good.
He's talking about what a real friend means
exactly.
to him. Yeah.
And that's where Guts realized that like Griffith did not see him as a real friend.
Yeah. So
because he was doing everything for Griffith, right? And because of that, you tragically know that Griffith will never see Casca the way she's. Yeah, because she has undying loyalty to him.
Yeah,
whatever. So they both love Griffith, or not that they love. They both put Griffith on this kind of like pedestal or whatever. They idolize him, and that again, this is like Griffith's design is incredible. You like he looks angelic. He's like white, like fair skin, white hair, whatever. And he's like thin. His weapon, the way he fights, it's like all elegant. A little
cutlass.
Right? Exactly.
He's a cutlass.
It's so he has this.
The contrast of the main character is like
exactly the and so Guts is like
burly.
Jacket.
He has a big sword.
So that's excellent visual design, visual storytelling or whatever character. I'm not sure what you call it, but you know what I'm getting at. So anyway, so as these characters, so you have Guts and Casca kind of like bound by Griffith, kind of grow a bond together, right? Whatever. Reluctantly, because they kind of fought at first, but then through suffering, through that kind of shared suffering and a development of mutual respect, they end up finally kind of like really realizing their feelings or whatever. But it was like a little too late. It was kind of like it was a little too late, right? So then in the kind of tragic irony, Casca ultimately gets what she wanted of being Griffith's most useful thing, because she was like essentially ultimate sacrifice, right? In a sense, right?
In a sense.
I mean, the whole army was sacrificed.
Yeah.
But this was the most useful thing in a sense that Casca could have done for him, right? So she gets what she finally wanted, to be the most useful thing to him, and she also loved him. So she also got to experience him sexually. But in a tragic twist of fate, it happened in the most horrific way she could have ever envisioned it. Right? So it adds. So there's all this kind of a build-up, complexity of like themes and things like that make that rape scene absolutely spectacular. Absolutely spectacular.
Yeah. Yeah, as I'm saying, like it's pretty much like it's not tasteless. It's not like it's not like exploitative in a way. Like
it means something. It means something
actually,
to us, and it means something to the characters. Clearly,
like
it means something to Griffith, right? Because then that's from Casca's point of view. Guts also has to endure the suffering, right? Both of them lose their humanity.
Oh, so
right?
And I think more so it kind of circles back around to so the way the story begins and the way it's told, I think is incredible.
It's great.
The way it begins with post eclipse.
Yes.
So you kind of see.
Yeah. And it's a great hook.
It is a great hook.
It jumps. It tells you everything you need to know about
Guts.
Guts. It tells you his character. He's kind of like a flat character for that arc, if you think about it.
Yeah. He's just he's like an angry dude with a sword.
Yeah, but you're led to believe that he has like a certain cause, and he has kind of he has a lot of weight on his shoulders, and he has some kind of like complexity to his cynicism, I guess, or I don't know what you would call it, like his anger, I guess, or whatever. Okay, so it sets up him, and then going into the Golden Age arc, you have young Guts, right? And he doesn't talk much actually as a kid, right? Which I think is interesting. He is kind of a lot quiet, like looks and things like that. So a lot of it is visual, but yeah. So you see him develop, right? So he becomes like a developing character in Golden Age arc, and that pacing is good, because I think if you would have started from the very, very, very beginning, you wouldn't be able to drop all the hints and all that kind of like interesting things that already build your anticipation. Yeah,
because I feel like most people will start it at the Golden Age arc.
Exactly. Yes.
And then they'll kind of build up from there.
The amateur would do that.
Yeah, that's like it's surprising, because this is like I think this is his only like story. But I feel like
it's really good.
Yeah, it's like the way he told that, because I feel like most people will get. I think one of the genius about the Golden Age arc is because of the Black Swordsman's arc.
Yes, yeah, they're complementary.
Because
absolutely, yeah. Like
I feel like most people won't be able to, despite the story, they won't be able to sit through like if you just went straight to the Golden Age arc, because they'll be like, oh, this is kind of.
It'd still be good.
I mean, it'd still be good,
but it wouldn't be. It's this that from the beginning of the Golden Age arc, you go in with this like enticement.
Yeah, you're like, I wonder how this happened.
Yeah, exactly. Because first of all, it ends in a complete cliffhanger, right? Like this guy catches up to and Wright catches up to Femta or whatever, but it doesn't really conclude, right? So first of all, you have this cliffhanger, and then you have like this anticipation, just like this kind of like I don't know. There's just this intrigue in it. I thought what was sick was that I realized that the baby, right, the Casca has like is his, and that's like the demon that follows him, right, that haunts him. In the, I thought that was so sick, but then I loved finding out like why Femto has his helmet and shit. Why like, I just
that's a really
so
sick design.
Sick, man.
That's like Femto's design is so sick.
So nasty, so nasty. I think my favorite.
Like I have a figure of him too.
I said this in the group chat. You have a group.
Femto figure?
Femto, yeah.
You want me to bring it?
Yeah, I
just
kind
to
of
look
do.
at it. I'll bring it.
Yeah.
So keep talking. Wow, I'll bring it. I'll bring it.
All right.
Like I thought. Well, you probably haven't noticed in the background. Okay, man.
All right.
Just starting on the
Okay. I'll probably repeat this to Mattel. Nah, he's gonna be back in a couple seconds. I'm just gonna wait. Alright, whatever. I'll say it. The sickest characters, the character designs that I really like. Oh fuck. Are. Does he have it? I mean, it doesn't make sense to talk and then repeat it. Yeah, I'll just wait. Alright, let's see if I can progress. Oh shit. Oh shit. 3 health. Oh, this shit's hard. Oh, damn. There you go. Damn. This is nasty. Wait, this is kind of new though.
I've had this one. I've had that.
Damn, I've never noticed it.
Yeah, because you probably didn't know what character it was. Yeah. You probably just subconsciously.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't noticeable.
It wasn't noticeable.
To my untrained eye.
Yeah.
No, this is nasty. Just leave it here for now.
Yeah,
for the sake of the episode.
Give me a second. I gotta fucking take this bitch with me.
Okay.
Keep fucking.
All right. Okay.
No.
All right. Then I'll actually say it. Okay. So Void and Skeleton Knight, I think, are so cool. I'm not sure if they're the best designed, but their design is just so. I don't know. I just think they're cool, honestly. I don't really know what makes the design so cool for me. Like, I guess it's their character that I like, as well as their design, because Skeleton Knight and Void talk very little, but they're so cryptic. So they have this mysterious. Welcome back. Oh shit. That's all right. All right. I think this is the final boss.
Oh, you think so? What?
Yeah,
what? Oh, you're there?
Yeah. But we're gonna have to do this in like one go.
All right.
Let me try it again, and then I'll let you jump in.
All right.
Okay. So
what were you saying?
I was saying that I love the design of Void and Skeleton Knight.
Oh, okay.
But I think that their characters are also really interesting. I guess by interesting though, to be more specific, like they're like mysterious, right? So I love they have very little lines, right? But everything they say, like they say it in such a like metaphorical and like kind of like a thoughtful way.
When the first time you're introduced to like Skeleton is after, I think the first time Guts is introduced into Skeleton, I think it's after him and Casca after they like kind of reconcile their feelings for each other, or they learn about their feelings for each other. And he's used pretty sparingly, I think, within the series. To be fair, I think one of the
damn, I really
also
want to know
circle back to like Fento's form. His form is probably used like probably one more time in the whole series. It's not overused. Like when you when you eventually get reintroduced into Griffith later on, when you start reading, he's like in his normal form. Spoiler, I know you probably don't. I'm not trying to spoil, not say too much.
Yeah, this doesn't seem like big. Well, I mean, okay, I see. You gotta break these things.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's interesting. I was expecting to see a lot of Femto.
No, I think that's the good thing about it, because I feel like any other series would overuse it to basically be like how like a Super Saiyan. The Super Saiyan eventually nowadays means nothing. Yeah. But when that form was introduced, it was like the biggest deal ever. So I feel like that makes the form itself. You can appreciate the form more itself, like his Femto form, because it is something you would. Like we're looking, I guess nobody can see, but like the design of the figure, it's a really cool form.
It is. It's nasty. I like, you know, it's got like this kind of fleshy look to it, right? Like where you see like muscle or
like
whatever.
His wings, oh yeah, it kind of like his body in his Phantom form. It's like his broken body.
Exactly.
It's very skinny.
Exactly.
So I kind of.
So it explains so much of the of kind of like so much of the context. I also love the reference to the monsters that he kills, the apostles or whatever. Is that what they're called?
Which ones?
Because the first one, the Count, I forget his name. I think that's his name. They're actually in the eclipse. Yeah. And, so like there's a the reason. Woman too, right?
Yeah. So it kind of.
And
yeah.
Well, here you're gonna retry. Yeah, so it just like it adds so much. I don't know what the right word is. Like it adds it's like a bit. It's really good world building. World building. Yeah, it's good world building. It kind of references. It's a good throwback. It's like it makes things happen like especially because you have like this kind of concept of fate, right? Well, Skeleton Knight, Void, and Zod, like, you know, they kind of talk about this, like, but in that metaphorical kind of like not direct, super intriguing way.
Yeah,
so it makes the anime actually kind of live up to it, because then you
have you watched the anime?
I'm sorry, not the anime, the story, the manga.
Yeah, I think you should watch it. But the 97 one.
Yeah, that's what I hear. Yeah,
it's like it's. I mean, like, I think it's honestly the best adaptation we've gotten so far.
But it still is not comparable to the.
No,
you can slide through them, by the way.
Oh, really?
And you have the protection, and so you completely eat them. Go slide through it. Oh, what the hell? No, but don't do the attack. Don't do the attack.
Oh, no, so oh shit! Can you hit them? No?
Yeah, you can. They're a little hard to track down though.
Shit, dude, it's pretty hard.
Yeah, it is.
I don't think he's the final boss. Well, he's one of them. So what were we saying? We're talking about
Well, the fate.
But I said something. I forget what I said. I think I should try to go back and get more health. That's what I should do.
Huh.
So I think I don't know exactly how it works on, to be honest. So I'm always confused.
Damn, I know, I forgot. Well, whatever. I'll just carry on.
Carry on your conversation.
And I guess if we remember, we remember.
Dude, like I can't imagine how I beat this guy.
Yeah. So it gives Berserk that feel like that kind of there's a destiny, kind of like there's a purpose to all of it. So there's like a purpose to the all the suffering in a certain sense, right? Things don't just aren't just random, because I guess the Black Swordsman arc is it does feel kind of random a little bit, like
can feel kind of bland.
There's not bland, random in a sense
or
that seemingly important thing. Okay, seemingly what something seemed impactful or important, but you have no idea why. For example, the encounters with the baby. It's like you what do you make of that? You have no context. Like
you're like, what the fuck is that?
Well, clearly he's being haunted by this one, right? It's like
this fucking Urus
nasty thing, right?
Abortion.
Abortion fetus, right?
Abortion fetus. Yeah.
So it seems like it has relevance, but you have no idea why. That you learn.
And when it circles
Golden Age arc,
but practically his child.
Yeah.
It's like demon spawn.
Yeah, it's crazy. I wasn't expecting that. That was a
what?
I didn't realize that I didn't remember at the first sight of seeing the baby, right? It wasn't until Skeleton Knight said, "Oh, so it's yours," and then that's when I'm like, "So it's his." Then I thought back to it took me so. Berserk is like a subtle show, right? Is it a subtle show, or is it also really, really, really like?
But what do you mean by subtle?
Bold as well? It's also it's so provocative, but yet it's also subtle. Okay, I just like, open-ended question.
I think I know what you mean.
Are there any subtleties in it?
Of course, yeah, of course. There's I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but when you read on,
but can you refer like a?
Okay, so the demon child. Eventually, like there's something happens with the demon child. There was a theory among the fan base for a long time about this demon child, about who's what pertaining its identity. Not that it's obviously we know it's God's child, but there was something there when you start reading, you'll understand. So there was the fan theory, because Miura himself, like, what kind of hints at it, were like over expressing it, and so people will speculate that this child is blah blah blah, and then unironically, the last chapter he wrote before he died was like the reveal of that speculation. It turned out that we were right because of the subtle hints dropped by the author. So I feel like I feel like my main complaint with a lot of anime and a lot of manga is like it's very like it tells you everything. All right, like when people are fighting. When people are fighting, it's very this guy, he stopped time at this exact time and he pulled this trick. That's why he was able to do this crazy thing. Instead of it, it's like that's like it's very there's a word for it. Expository. There we go. Like it's very expository. And I feel like Berserk
doesn't do that.
Well, and no, there's probably like I'm pretty sure there's like if you point out like they're probably sure there's probably like some. Well, it says that we're going to saying, the enemy attacked this way. Here, you can do that.
The only off the top of my head, the only time there's that explanation or whatever that kind of is when what is it? Griffith and Guts fought for the second time. Where you
and like the snow and like
that's the first time you ever get to actually hear him think. I thought that was like kind of crazy.
I know, but like I feel like it's more of an like a self dialogue that most people do instead of expository. Because I feel like more expository dialogue would be like, Griffith stepped 2 feet back, and that's why he was able to whip his sword.
So even speed. That doesn't count. Yeah. I can't really think of an instance on the top of my head. So and there's nothing wrong with it if you use it sparingly. It's when you over rely on it, which is what you're getting at. So so that's kind of what I mean. Is right. Berserk has this sort of bluntness to it, but it's also a very subtle show at the same time, because the action usually is all on the page. I'm not even sure what that means, but
I don't know what the fuck. I was about to ask. What do you mean by that?
It's like you know whatever you see on the page is what's actually happening. There's no trickery, right? And then the next sequence is like the next logical sequence. The previous one isn't necessarily explained, like you're saying. No, so the page is kind of like truthful. If you're watching one of those things, the scene that you're watching doesn't have all the information, like you're saying.
Yeah.
Because the next scene, it's something that you couldn't have known because, then it wouldn't be a surprise, right? But Berserk is surprising, but everything was there on the page for you to see it. Everything actually, a lot of what you learn in Berserk is inferred, right? It's not overly explained to you, and characters say exactly what they feel real because they don't explain things as if they're characters explaining to an audience. They're really just saying what they think and what they feel, which gives these characters depth, right? Which is why I think sometimes you hardly get into the mind of Guts as well. Sometimes it's not like you're always hearing what he thinks. Sometimes you just hear what he says. And there's something really interesting about that. You don't hear much of what Casca thinks as well, and the same thing with Griffith. You almost never get into their minds. So the few times that you do it, it's very revealing. And so it's like all on the page. It's all on the page.
So that's another thing why it's very speaking of that, it's another thing very interesting about these characters is that the fact that they're not like, I feel like a lot of let's say like shonen anime, like the protagonists are like very one note, very bland. They're either like the dumb one, but like has latent potential in him, and that's all their character, and that they're just the underdog the whole time. They're just trying to prove themselves, or they're like the goody two shoes. Like everything is done through a moral code, and they highly believe in that moral code, and they'll never question that moral code, no matter what. Even though a character is being like, yo, these people killed my parents, and I fucking hate them. That's why I am the way I am. And he's like,
the scout code does not.
And it's like, it's like, oh, I will never abandon my codes and everything. I understand people are like that, but I still believe heavily in them.
Berserk doesn't have those characters.
Like the characters are even not what they present in a way. Like Griffith is Griffith is a
charismatic,
very deep layered character, because like what he presents, because he can be. Like what he presents could be like the average shonen trope. It's just like it's like a goody two shoes type of way. He is. It's like everything he does is like is everything he does can be if he was like any other character, it could be interpreted like, oh, he's like a force of justice, but in reality he has his own motivations, and the way he presents himself is more calculated like that, because that's what he understands will get people more on his side to trust him, if he is this type of character, as opposed to him just actually being that type of character, and he being just like an OP
and it would work the same way too. Like he could easily be a villain, right? Like, oh, he's just he it's like the inverse of that, where he's so obviously
pretending to be this way, and like underneath
he's so obviously the bad guy that is trying to just use everyone, right? There's real connections between Guts and Casca. And I don't know if this is just me. This is an inference that I made. I don't know if Griffith, I don't want to say this, he didn't want this, but this wasn't what he envisioned. I think Griffith clearly wanted success and just right, this kind of legacy, or just complete on top, whatever.
But he didn't really understand what it meant to get to that point.
Well, I don't think he knew how far he was willing to go.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
In a sense, I think that when you start off in the Golden Age arc, I get the impression Griffith is trying to become like a king, like a mega king or some shit like that.
Yeah, I think he outright says it, that he wants his own kingdom. That's his dream.
Yeah. Well, yeah, right.
Yeah.
But the thing, he does get his own kingdom, right? It's like a demonic kingdom, right? Right.
Well,
so, but my point is, he didn't know that he was going to become femto, right? So he too was surprised by the outcome. I think.
Yeah, it's
that's an inference that I made. I don't know if you agree with that or not.
Okay, I think I understand what you're trying to say. But yeah, it's not like his. He realized that at the end of
this whole time he knew that there were demons and he wants to be a fucking part of the God hand, right?
Well, that's not what
he didn't know any of that.
I know. Exactly. I guess I'm taking one more like he and like I don't know, because I think you kind of see even in the eclipse his head, not like his outright hesitation, but when. So there's a scene where he
well, he knows about the thing, right? He knows about the thing.
I don't know how to say.
I get the impression that he got like he has the bahil, yeah. I think that's what it's called. He knew that this was like an important object or some shit like that. Like
do you think he would have made that decision, despite him being in his state? Because when he makes that decision, he is like. He's destroyed, he's been
that's interesting.
Because he's at his worst.
He's
done. He can't hold.
Dead.
Yeah, he can't hold the sword anymore. His tongue is cut out. Which is because he's a very eloquent speaker, so he can't woo people the same way. His form is gone. His elegant form is gone. He's reduced to nothing. Do you think he would have made the same decision if he was just regular Griffith at this point, or do you think that desperation kind of fed into that? Because if you think about it, do you I think that most people would actually go with what Griffith chose. If you're like reduced to nothing in that, you're literally a former shell yourself, and I forgot if it explores it in the manga. I think it does. He has you see there's like a hypothetical future Griffith where he's seeing himself just.
No, I haven't seen that yet.
No. Then yeah, that's why I feel like we should.
Okay.
Right?
Well,
so
I think that to answer your question, I think that he would have done it regardless. I think that he.
Yeah, me too. I think he would.
He still
the top person.
The thing is, he still would have. I think activated the eclipse. I feel like the thing is, I think that he still would have done it. And
I feel
ultimately,
the way the Beho works, that's what I'm saying. It has to be at the lowest point of you or yourself. That's how it's activated.
I see. So then, okay.
But so hypothetically, you can let's say they just.
Yeah, because that's your question, right?
Yeah.
If he wasn't in that state, but he still had the option.
Yeah, they regardless of his state, of his current state, he would still make that. He was they would just, instead of them waiting for the lowest point for them to appear to him, he would have made the decision either way. I feel like regardless of the type of person he is,
think about it. He kind of already did make that choice.
Yeah. You kind of. It's not like you kind of see. It's not like you kind of see him become the evil person. You kind of understand that. He kind of is that type of person.
Let me tell you what I'm getting at.
Even from the stories.
Let me tell you what I'm getting at. That there's hard evidence of that.
Yeah.
He was gonna kill Guts, or he's gonna stay. That's what he was thinking.
Yeah, and his decision, I think, he was
exactly. So he literally already did that. He already sacrificed Guts in his mind, because what he was trying to do was to kill him, right? And because he wanted to keep him, possess him, right? He right? He says, "You belong to me," or whatever. So if you think about it, he already sacrificed Guts' life in a sense, right?
And
so I think that he still had the capacity to sacrifice.
Oh, but what do you think? What do you think of that? Because that's also compelling. Because when that happens, he breaks character. He goes and then ends up sleeping with something. He does is he acts on impulse. He goes and fucks Princess Charlotte, and then it's
And when he like
it's like a meme. It's like a meme scene, but like when the next night when he wakes up and he's like after he fucks her and he's like and then he like holds himself and he cries. But it's like a meme scene in a way. You can think about it like, oh, after you hit your ex-girlfriend, you told yourself not to, and then you start crying, or some shit like that. Or when you like, but like that's like really compelling because like he realizes how much
maybe he wants to take power over something.
Or how much he kind of like guts.
Yeah.
Like in the end, he kind of saw Guts in the way he was saying in that monologue. He saw him as a friend, as an equal.
Yeah, when he finally challenged him.
So when he challenged him, it kind of broke him in a way that he would make that impulse, and that's what ended up getting himself caught.
Exactly.
So because he even says it like you were the only. Well, I don't know if you got into that part. He like you were the only one that made me forget my dream.
No, he hasn't said that yet, but I think he hasn't said that yet. No, there's no way. He didn't say anything like that during the eclipse scene. Obviously, he didn't say it before. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. I haven't gone to that part, but... Did he... Okay, so I don't know if this is just me or not, but when Guts gets to him, right, like Griffith is like grabbing onto him, and I thought that he was like embracing Guts, but he's like got his hand on his neck.
Is
he trying to choke him out?
No, he mad at him. So at first he was pissed at him, but he realized, and like at the end he lets go because he realizes that I don't know, maybe in I think it's more blatant like animated form. In the animation, he's just choking him, and as soon as he sees his gut, he realizes that, damn, even though I blame him for the things that happened, like I still. Or is he crying? Is he crying because he realized he can't choke him out? No, he's crying because like he can't. So I think when it's animated, it's more blatant. Okay. But he reaches out to choke him out because obviously he blames him for his state that he's in, because in his own narcissistic way, like it's his fault. The Guts, if you hadn't had defied me that way, I would have never taken that impulse to fuck the princess and get myself in the situation. But then he lets go at the end. He's like, because I feel like he actually cares. I feel like you gotta read more because there's a line that he says.
So you have more context. Than dude. Obviously, makes sense. Okay.
Like it is true that
this is an incomplete.
Whether
it's still an incomplete puzzle.
That Griffith, like the truth is that Griffith cared very deeply for Guts. Whether like it was to a crazy amount. So I feel like you gotta read more.
This all plays back to how all three of these characters have complexity. Right,
they're not one note, because I feel like in any other story, like we probably were either gonna we could have begun from the.
You can still have
the Black Swordsman art, and then just not explain his backstory until very later into the story. Like he just continues from there, and he's just built up as this like relentless character. And the mystery is that why is he like that, as opposed to just like, well, because you remember when he beats like the first I think it's it's not the first, it's the slug looking thing. Before that's when he sees the God hand and he's like So like one of the last panels is when the girl's saying, "Oh, I'll kill you," and he's like, "Oh, I don't care. I do what the fuck you want." But one of the panels is him looking sad, like him like almost crying, and then like Putt notices and he's like, "What the fuck?" Let me see if I remember. Let me see if I can bring. I'll bring it up. Let me look it up. Let me look it up because like then you kind of. So I feel like that's like a good segue into Guts.
I'm gonna buy, because I started with the deluxe volume 4, so I'm gonna go back and buy deluxe volumes 1, 2, and 3.
So it's this panel. It's this one.
Oh right, okay.
So it's when she talks shit about it, so like it brings that to the content, and it's a good segue into why he because in a way everything she says about him is kind of true, because he's like a monster to her, because you kind of get skilled at that. But even you kind of like, I think the initial thoughts is like, this guy's kind of an asshole. This is like a piece of, like, he's cool, but he's kind of an asshole. Like, why does he treat these people like?
Yes.
So and so then you see that panel where he's like he kind of breaks down in a momentarily like, oh damn, bro, like I'm not.
And nothing's being said, right?
It's not like, oh, this bitch just talk all this shit about me. It's just a panel of him making that.
You're observing the character be sad,
yeah,
right? And it's not being explained to you, right? It's being shown, right? And there's kind of like, it's such a subtle distinction, right?
Yeah, like because the way he's been portrayed beforehand in all the chapters is like very cold, stoic type of guy, and then when you kind of see that vulnerability, it's like.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah, it's like oh shit. It kind of adds to the character. It's like, oh, he doesn't have that.
And then you watch him go through his
and you kind of understand now
his childhood.
And it kind of make, I feel like that build up to that like that early development of that character makes him just such a good protagonist.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
When I was reading Berserk, shortly after you lent me the mangas.
Oh, I remember that.
I was also watching what's this called, Invincible. Did you ever finish that? Or
I never finished, but I know how it ends.
You know how it ends?
Yeah.
And how far did you get into it? It's only like 12 episodes.
Yeah,
right?
I got like 6 episodes.
6, whatever.
But it's not that I hated the show. It's just like I'm terrible at watching shows.
I think that that show was really mediocre.
You think so?
Yeah, I think it was really overrated. I think it was enjoyable. It was definitely enjoyable, but it was also, I think, highly overrated. I think people praised it for being better than what it really was.
Have you ever watched Demon Slayer?
No. Richard's talked about it.
I feel the same way about that.
Really?
About the show. I feel like if it wasn't for the animation, I wouldn't watch the show.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Because like I feel like it's actually like it's not bad, but it's just
it's
really
entertaining.
mediocre. It's entertaining, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm saying like I really like the fight. Like if it was another studio would have like put the outside, I feel like I wouldn't watch it. But like I feel like that's such an overrated show.
Okay.
Like it has really good animation, but I feel like the main characters are just one note. Like surprisingly, just one note. Like the main character, Tanjiro.
The main character, right? That's
The main character. He's just like I'm saying, he's just a goody two shoes. Like he's like, oh, like his
So those.
His motivation is based upon like his family has been killed, and it's like
origin story.
Yeah.
Right, because that's
yeah. Like that's like the push to the adventure, to jump into the adventure. The problem is like throughout the show,
it's such a trope. It's a cliche.
No, it's not just that. Like, because like for example, like in episode 4 of Star Wars, like the jumping point for Luke is that the fact that his like uncle and aunt are killed.
Yeah.
And he's like, that scene where he's like looking at him. But the good thing about that is that that's what it serves as, just as the jumping point.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't lament their deaths throughout the series. Like they're actually, I don't think they're ever mentioned it throughout the whole trilogy.
You're absolutely right about that. That's a
through
really
episode
good
5
observation.
It's just meant as like a starting point. Like obviously you feel bad, like he lost his, but it's like it's not like the crutch of the character. Like that's just like, oh well, it kind of feels like, well, it sucks that they died, but like. But it serves as a good jumping point. Like, he doesn't eat. Like his home has been destroyed. He has nothing to go to.
Exactly,
so
no
obviously,
so
that's why he goes on his adventure, as opposed to like a Demon Slayer. Like that's the trope. His family dies. Like his family is killed at the beginning. But the problem is the opposite. Is instead of them like never mentioning again in the story and it just being a good jumping point, it's like throughout the series, like his family is used. His family's brought up so much and is used, and it's like his main motivation is like, oh, I want to avenge my family. But the problem is like you don't give a fuck about these characters. They killed in episode 1, so you never really grew. Obviously, you feel bad for him because like I guess there's some.
You can understand why Guts would want to avenge Casca.
Yeah.
Right.
But in this show, it's like, I mean,
imagine that.
I understand why you want to avenge them because they're your siblings, but at the same time, like, as a character, like, I don't give a fuck about these people because you never built them up through the story.
We're not gonna care just because you're telling us to care, right? Or like because the character cares.
Yeah, it's very manipulative.
Yeah, you have to feel like the characters are going through something real.
So.
Exactly.
So and then there was
I did want to make a comment before I forget, and that's you can have a good story with simple characters, right? Because those are like flat characters, but that doesn't mean they're bad. It doesn't mean they're bad. I think Goku is a simple ass character,
but it doesn't mean
it's a great show.
Yeah,
he's a good character for his show, and Goku is interesting enough in the context of Dragon Ball, right?
Yeah, it depends how you use those characters.
Exactly. So you could still have you could still have simpler characters and still have a good show.
Yeah.
Obviously, just having
I'm not saying I'm not saying they're bad because of the main character. I'm just saying that it's still like
it's when they're simple and they're also just like maybe too tropey or just they don't do enough to develop them. Exactly.
So like all three main characters of that show are very tropey. Yeah. So
okay, so I want to bring up Invincible because this too is a show that kind of wants to make a statement with its brutality, just like Berserk. So I thought there was
I remember
the timing.
You remember when Danny showed it? It was here, right?
Yeah,
it was here.
It was. I thought the first episode was really, really good.
Yeah, I thought so.
First episode's a great hook.
Yeah, right. Because like at the very end, it kind of just seems like Why am I
Is she coming back?
Juliana?
Yeah.
I mean, she's probably just capping weavers and shit like that.
All right, so so it's the timing of me watching these shows is coincidental, but there's some interesting parallels between Berserk and this. And I can't help but compare them because they kind of go for a similar thing, right? There's like a lot of like a big suffering component to Invincible and to Berserk. That's all right. Now, Invincible, the main character, I don't know, he's also a flat character arc, right? He's like he kind of stays the same throughout the show, but his motivations are so dumb. Like I don't understand. Like it's hard to be on his side.
Yeah.
Right. It's because he's so annoying. So it's like you have a really annoying flat character. So essentially, the character starts off, right, or the show starts off, and he's kind of like bummed out, upset because he hasn't gotten his superpowers. Yeah. Right. He was really hoping he'd get them. Right. So he's bummed out, whatever. And you're like, okay, yeah, sure. So you're like, okay, fine. The average person might think, I can understand why you'd be bummed out. Your dad is like the greatest superhero of like all time.
He's like the Superman of the world,
and he has, and that's like a lot of expectation to live up to. Right, and you can understand that dynamic, father-son thing. You've seen that play out. Okay, whatever. And then, but the thing is, he then gets the powers. It doesn't take long. He doesn't really do anything. He just comes, right, which is fine. And then he's like stoked. But then the next struggle for him becomes that now his relationship life and all this stuff is getting in the way. His high school stuff. That's the stuff that he really cares about. And then and it's so hard to juggle the responsibility of being the strongest superhero on the planet and having a teenage normal teenage life. So then it's
kind of tropey in a way.
He struggles to find any balance. So throughout the show, almost every encounter that he finds himself in is against his will. He never goes into this stuff willingly. It's always with a complaint or always with kind of like reluctance. Exactly, right? So I was hoping. So I thought that the show would end, kind of trying to define him. It's like, okay, what are your principles? What do you look for? Because first we thought that you cared about being a superhero, but now that you're a superhero,
it's like
that's the kind of the trope of Spider-Man. But Spider-Man, he learns, he goes through this. His uncle tells him, with great power comes great responsibility. He's like, oh, I am a fucking superhero now. It would be a privilege for me to have a normal life. But it's like this life didn't choose me or whatever. But I have to undertake its burden. So you don't hear Spider-Man constantly complaining he missed a date with some girl, right? Although he struggles with that, he doesn't complain about it because he's like, the responsibility
it's ironic
I have is great.
A show that kind of portrays himself as more adult, kind of mediocrely falters through that storyline instead of like something that's more like Spider-Man, like you said, like
Spider-Man's more thought out. It's tropey.
I'm glad you said that because I feel like that was like one of my main complaints with the show. That's why I kind of like fuck because I feel like it like
I had to finish it though. If I hate a show that much, I have to finish it because I need a concise.
I don't think I hate it. I don't think I hated it as much as you did.
I don't hate it. It was entertaining, honestly.
It's entertaining. But like I feel like for such a show that portrays itself as a very adult show because it has like bloods, like guts and
blood. I mean, the first episode was absolutely brutal.
Great
hook.
That's a great hook. But I feel like everything else is kind of dealt with like immaturely, like you're saying. Like that storyline is very tropey, and there's already a song.
There's way more angles I could pick apart if you want to dedicate some time to that.
But I don't. I mean, we could.
Dude, I could talk about that show for like 2 hours.
You can.
Yeah, and like just pick apart.
All right, so I think that'd be a great own episode.
Okay.
Because you know what, from here,
how much?
I feel like that. Who knows?
Let me see. Yeah. We've been recording for about almost an hour.
This is keep going. It's fine. We can make this like a special long episode. It's fine.
Okay.
Because like we have a lot to say. Because
it's
such this is how great the series is. That we're talking about like
other series,
how they compare to it. So like that was one of my main gripes with the show is that it dealt with it was very like I don't know. I don't want to say this, but like it was like just like edgy.
Oh yeah, just tried to be edgy.
Edgy. But instead of like it dealt with like the other things besides the violence very like immature, like I want to say immaturely, but like it felt like that. It felt that's like kind of why the so the show feels like the show. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The show for itself, I'm not saying it's a bad show, but it feels like it's just like you remember, have you ever watched like Justice League, those episodes, or like Teen Titans?
Yeah.
Like it feels like that, but it's just with bloods and guts.
Yeah.
As saying that it's still kind of. I'm not saying that these are bad shows because I love these shows, like the original Teen Titans and like.
I think those shows probably have more depth than this show.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like those shows, like that's what I'm saying. They dealt with their themes more immaturely and instead of like it's like bloods and guts. It felt kind of like what you call it, like The Boys.
Oh like The Boys, same.
I feel like The Boys
is overrated.
You think it's overrated?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it's a good show. I think it deals with its themes more.
It does
maturely.
It does better.
It does better. So it kind of felt like
I have certain gripes with The Boys, but it does. I think it's better than Invincible.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I feel like it kind of tries to do that. Where like I feel like The Boys. I feel like even though it was an edgy show, I feel like it dealt with its themes more maturely.
And the thing is that The Boys is also funny too.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's more of a comedic slant.
Yeah, so, there's actually an absurdity to The Boys.
Yeah, like it's very
which
like,
is fun. It's fun to see that like the live action shows absurdity in those, and it does it pretty well.
Yeah, I feel like that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like
Invincible is not that absurd.
I don't think so. Like I'm saying, it's very tropey in the way it deals with its like basic character plot. Yeah. So like
all the characters, I have kind of like a theory where I think the writer of Invincible,
it's based off a comic book. So I don't know how the comic book is because obviously
true.
when you translate it to like
that's true.
Cartoon.
Yeah.
So let's talk about
this criticism is purely based off the show. I was watching King of the Hill and there's an Invincible reference which I thought was so cool. Yeah, it was just a random episode like in the middle of the seasons or whatever. You know, King of the Hill is kind of an old show. And Bobby Hill, he's like sitting in his reading a comic book and it's Invincible. It doesn't say it, but it's clearly him like doing this or whatever.
Oh, okay.
I thought that was like a cool reference.
That's a show that's like
King of the Hill is really
good.
But it's supposed to be boring, but it's not.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like when I was like 12 years old and they showed an adult film, I was like, dude, this sucks. But now as an adult, like you watch it, it's like a very like submissive. Like it's very submissive. like the show itself. It's not like Family Guy where it goes into the absurdity. It's more of like
it's like absurdly tame.
Yeah, for an animated series,
dude,
that's that's what makes it
such a. I love that it sticks to like the always the southern like the Texan southern family home values that come through in the end. Like this is one of my favorite scenes. I'm gonna try and describe it as best as I can.
I have an episode that I watched recently, and I thought that this is actually like it's really good. Okay, go ahead.
Okay,
go ahead.
So the scene, I think it starts off the episode. So it's one of those scenes where Hank he's in his like workbench, and then he has his goggles and his power drill, whatever.
Go ahead.
He puts down the drill, and then he takes off his goggles, and then grabs the drill and is gonna put it away. But then he puts the drill back down. He grabs the goggles. He puts them on. He gets the drill, and he puts the drill away. And then he takes off the goggles, and then puts back. So then puts the goggles back where they belong, right? And so there's no talking in that scene, right? It's a couple seconds long. But what I think is so funny, like it's one of those scenes like that we're talking about in Berserk, the manga, where you just see the character be himself. No explanation.
No inner monologue, dialogue.
Exactly. So
to muddle your
it just tells you
to kind of hold your hand. It just like you understand
the character. So Hank Hill is so by the book, so all about procedure and things like that, like and doing things the right way that. He didn't even want to put away his power drill without having the proper protection, right? That show has like scenes like that like everywhere, but that's one that stood out to me.
So one episode is when they first meet, like I forgot his name because like I can never remember his name. You know, like what Hank's Asian neighbor, like the
Khan.
Yeah. There you go. So when they meet him.
Wasada-san or something?
Yeah. So when they meet him, like the episode where they meet him, like they moved in and shit.
I hardly remember it, but
so the way I feel like when racism is portrayed in like let's say like Family Guy, it's like overt racism. It's like, oh fuck you, black piece of shit or whatever, all that shit. But like in this episode, it kind of teaches you about like the unintentional racism, because at first they think they're like Chinese, but they're like Laotian. So Peggy cooks them like a Chinese meal, because they're like, oh, they're Asian, so they must be Chinese. But they end up, but the ironic thing is that the Chinese oppressed the Laotians for a long ass time. So it's like insulting because she ends up cooking like a Chinese meal for them. But like it's not like overly racist, but she also, like, cause she doesn't know any better, because she doesn't understand like this is a different culture from Chinese people.
But you know the thing is, it's like
it doesn't portray her as like a bad person for thinking of those things. It kind of like humanizes it, because I feel like most people will make that kind of subtle mistake.
Exactly, that's exactly what I was gonna bring up. I think that the writer is some way kind of, it's like a
she's not antagonizing the main characters, because both Hank and her.
I think the writers also the writers are what am I trying to say again? The viewer I think the writer knows that the viewer thinks the same thing that Peggy thought.
I think our game knows.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, no.
Where am I?
It's that when we alt-tab, it always switches controls.
When do we alt-tab? Oh, that's right.
To check the time.
But I haven't been playing.
Standard. Here we go. Okay. Go for it.
So hold on.
Okay, so
I gotta pee. So
right.
Oh shit! No, wait. Give me a second. Keep talking, because I'm gonna try it regardless.
Because chances are that I think the average viewer is like, will look at this and be like, oh wow, that's what a Chinese, like they think he's Chinese too.
You
think that King of the Hill is doing another Chinese stereotype.
No, but it's not.
It's also kind of like playing on the expectation of the viewer. So we're laughing at Peggy, but you're in a sense like, it's like you're laughing at yourself as well. Yeah, because like you would make that mistake because you don't understand. You were ready to think that this King of the Hill was gonna do some Asian stereotyping.
Yeah.
But it played against your own prejudice, right?
Yeah. Like, and it kind of makes fun of the characters as opposed to making fun of the Asian stereotype.
Yes, actually, King of the Hill is so good at making fun of everyone. Everyone gets made fun of.
Yeah, so
I love that like that disabled guy that runs the car place.
Yeah,
the monkey boy.
Yeah.
They're not afraid to make fun of I mean, they make fun of Texas the most.
Yeah, that's like that.
They're all
they're all like Texas stereotypes.
They're
right?
all stereotypes, but
they even Hank himself, right? He's like the old. He's like
Southern,
he's like
Southern
very
values.
conservative. Yeah, he's more conservative.
The traditional Ronald Reagan conservative.
Yeah.
Dale, I love Dale. He's like the conspiracy theorist,
conspiracy
like guy. Boomhauer is the local. I wish I could do a Boomhauer impression. do you want?
No, I can't. I can't.
And then obviously Bill is the most depressing. They do a good job at just making Bill such a pitiful human.
Yeah, he's like the stereotypical like hillbilly or like redneck.
Hillbilly, like high school,
like high school dropout, like had to,
like he's Jock joined army, like absolutely bum.
Like I feel bad for him, even though those people are probably like hate people like me, like a little too dark for their liking, but like I feel bad for him. Like it humanizes like almost like the good thing is like it's really good at humanizing its characters.
Yeah, it is. Like
as opposed to like my Family Guy where it like kind of absurdizes like its characters. Like
again, it's another simple show, right? But it's got subtleties, and it's like, it's a great show. Well, and Invincible. Oh, that's right. All right.
I'm sorry, man.
Okay, I'm gonna do a couple runs. Maybe I'll make some progress. Who knows?
Yeah, because we haven't made.
Yeah, fuck. Oh my dude. No fucking health. Alright. Gotta go back and find a health pack. Okay. Just go here. You need to go somewhere else. Alright. Alright. Okay, that's health. Oh shit. Okay, back here.
Sorry, that took a while.
No, it's all good.
What,
I went back to get some more resources.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Or pretty much just to get more health. But actually,
So anyway, we're talking about King of the Hill now.
yeah, but I was gonna bring it back to Invincible, and then I guess bring it back to Berserk.
Yeah, I guess so. You sure you don't want any drinks, bro?
I'll take a White Claw, but
What do you want?
but dude, also
I have blackberry, blood orange, and cranberry.
Raspberry, blood orange, and blackberry.
Blackberry, you want?
Yeah, I'll take blackberry.
Here.
Are you hungry though?
Are you hungry?
Yeah, I kind of am. I'm down to go get some to eat if you are, but
Around here? I'm trying to see what we have around here.
Oh, dude, I'm just getting slow.
I know, it's very...
It's hard. Alright. Here you go.
Like, oh. So bring it back to Invincible?
Alright. Well, yeah, in that show, I think that every character's motivation is like so...
One note?
One note. Yeah, but they're like also really compassionate. I feel like they're not interesting. They're all like in it for the punani. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I feel like Invincible. You know, he has a girlfriend, right, that he cares about, right? Obviously, a great source of stress for him. And you know, the team that he like kind of the team gets broken up because the guy Rex was like cheating on the girl, right? With the
I don't know if I got that far. What is that?
No, yeah. Well, this is what happened, right? The guy that does the fireworks shit, he was dating the purple Adam Eve or whatever her name is, with the Asian girl, and you know that caused drama in the team, right? And then she just broke up with the team, right? And you know, again, it's like very drama filled, kind of a drama induced decision, right? So you know, she just couldn't handle being a superhero because she was cheated on by another superhero or some shit like that. So she goes to live off a life in the trees. Well, because she can just create whatever she wants, right? Like it's very easy for her to live, right? She can materialize coffee or whatever. And then okay, so then you have like the what's this guy? The robot guy. Right, it turns out he had like this secret plot where he was working with the villain or whatever, and it was actually a pretty interesting plot. But the whole reason he was doing all this is so that he could create himself a body to put his mind into, of a boy, so that he could be with the girl that he loved.
I don't remember any of this.
Yeah, well, it's towards the end. So I thought it was really interesting because it's like, oh, man on the inside, right? Like, oh, I thought he was a good guy, right? I thought he was part of the team, this robot guy. And he's like really smart and calculated and things like that. And it turns out he's been working with some villains from earlier, and he's got this ploy, right? And they're like, oh, it's interesting. It's I was a plot line that I was really interested in, and it turns out that he wanted a body so he could put his robot mind into, so he could be a person, so that he could be with a girl that he liked. This super genius robot. His motivation was to be with a girl that he liked. So he went through all of this for that. And then after he became a boy, useless character. He stopped becoming a genius robot.
He's
just kind of like a kid that says regular things. And I'm like, wow, there's so much for an interesting character. And it's like, why would that plot? Another character was the guy that was investigating, because you know how Omni-Man kills everyone. Right? So they're investigating him. right? The demon guy.
I
thought that was a cool character. He's like, detective kind of demon guy.
He's kind of like a Hellboy kind of character.
It's a kind of a little tropey, but I kind of dig it. He's cool, right? And it's kind of like a cool antithesis, right, to what Omni-Man is. Oh, this guy's like unkillable, so he doesn't even give a fuck, right? He's like a demon or some shit, right? So he's investigating Omni-Man because obviously something's fishy here, right?
Yeah.
So this guy, Omni-Man does everything he can, right? He's doing everything he can to clear. So obviously it's hard to find evidence on him. That's why they got this demon guy, right? And this guy is snooping through his house and shit like that, right? And the guy's always his boss is like he's calling him off. He's like, oh, don't do this. You're disobeying orders, whatever. You don't look into Omni-Man, whatever. So you're kind of rooting for this guy, right? Because you're like, oh, he's like anti-hero kind of thing, right? Like, what's this guy's angle, right? And he's getting closer to the mystery, like figuring out that Omni-Man. And by the way, this guy can go anywhere. He's like a ghost, right? And he has snooped through all this guy's house. He's like obviously been doing this stuff, right? And essentially he kind of gets too close, and then his boss kind of like has a spell book or some shit like that. Like he knows some satanic chants, and he brings him back to hell. So that character's just gone, right? So then a couple days later, the wife is just cleaning up the house, and then you know what she finds the craziest thing? She finds a trash bag in a top shelf with a bunch of bloody clothes. That's Omni-Man's, thus confirming that he's the one that killed everyone. Right?
Yeah, it's like. And
I thought, okay, and there's a lot of things wrong with that. Number one is, go for it. Number one is, this demon guy snooped through this whole house. You know this because it's not implied. It's like shown and it's talked about. This guy went through the whole house and he couldn't find anything. So you're telling me there was a trash bag on the top shelf that he missed, filled with bloody clothes. Like he was going through this girl's panty drawers, all this stuff. He wasn't gonna look inside a trash bag on the top shelf. He really missed that. Second of all,
or like
yeah.
Yeah, the implication is like, oh, just the wife.
Yeah.
So happened to stand
number
to
two.
Happen by.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like sometimes
shows, number two is Omni-Man.
Shows are written like perfectly, but it's like always that dumb thing.
No, there's more to it. There's more layers of dumbness to it. Because number two is Omni-Man decides to hide the only incriminating evidence against him on the planet in his house on a top shelf in a trash bag.
I know, right?
This man, he literally went to another galaxy to destroy.
He can literally put it in the moon, right? Or you put it in the fucking moon.
To the sun.
Yeah,
he didn't have to. You just walk outside, throw it to the sun.
It doesn't make sense. Like,
why?
If someone was like Superman level, they'd be like, wait, what the fuck? I can just put it in like this fucking sun. It's not like they're gonna fucking check there.
Yeah.
Or I can literally put it like in the outer atmosphere or some shit like that. Right? So I know that kind of ruins the show in a way.
Yeah. So then
I feel like most people will kind of like throw that aside.
So in the end, the wife finding that incriminating evidence again kills off the demon character, because first of all, the demon character was onto something, right? He missed it, but he was onto something. But he was kind of like abruptly just removed from the story. But it didn't even matter because the wife found the stuff anyway. So his detective work was all useless.
Yeah, so like
all the interesting characters that they have in the show become invalidated.
Yeah, or like it kind of makes them. Yeah, like I'm saying, obsolete. It almost feels like they wrote,
and they're all in love with some shit. They're all in love with someone else. There's so much drama in that show. No one there takes being a superhero fucking seriously except Omni-Man. Everyone there's got some, like, it's just there's a relationship that's just more important.
Yeah, that's like the most deep. It's like I feel that character is not as deep as he seems, but the thing is, like, comparative to other characters, he seems super deep because he's obviously the most developed character. So when everybody has like a basic motivation, he has the most like,
and you know what,
unique motivation, and it's not even that deep to begin with. So that makes him seem like more deep than he is, because compared to the other characters, he's like deep. He is the deepest character in the show.
They never even finished saying my closing thoughts on his arc or whatever you want to call it, because he was really never taken anywhere. That's why he's a flat character. You would have thought that through all this experience that he went through, he has some kind of principle he can live up to, and then the guy, he gets asked by the alien guy, Seth Rogen, I think, who he's like, he does the voice for the alien guy. He's like, man, so what are you gonna do, right? So like, this is literally the last line of and Invincible, he could say so many things, right? He could be like, okay, do you want to live a normal life, right? Or do you want to be a superhero, or like, what is it? And then his answer is, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
And it ends, boom. So it's like, how could I possibly root for this character? Like, what makes me like this character? What makes me want to care about watching the show?
Well, they try to make. I think they try to make him relatable. Cause
I guess
I feel like that. Like
so.
I'm saying, I haven't watched it the last end, but that sounds like something like the general audience would give. Like, I don't know, because I don't know if you want to be a superhero. Whatever.
Yeah,
like,
I guess.
Feel like,
I mean,
so it's kind of like that's why it comes back to like I feel like it's trying to be deep, but at the same time it does very basic things. I think that's why I stopped watching the show.
I think it's patronizing. It's not relatable. It's patronizing because the thing is, it's an allegory for life. Life is you wanting things that you kind of want, right? Like they're, let's say, pleasurable, but you have sacrifices that you need to make. You have responsibility, right? And the more you get out of life, the more responsibilities you usually have. Owning a car is a great thing. It's a great privilege.
It's a responsibility,
but it's a responsibility. Right?
And you got to keep up with the maintenance and all that stuff.
Exactly.
I've learned that the hard way. I learned that the hard way because
it's more relatable when a character actually, like, it's patronizing if it's relatable, right? Because these stories are like metaphors for life in a sense. At least that's how I see them. Maybe because I do have a tendency to like overinterpret.
No, it's okay.
Maybe get a little too metaphorical.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
So that kind of brings it back to Berserk, where I feel like
Berserk has none of those issues. Has
none.
In the first arc, the Black Swordsman arc, Guts is a flat character.
Yeah, he's like
he's unchanged.
Very stiff. He's like have you played? I'm pretty sure you've played Final Fantasy VII, right?
Nope.
You never played Final Fantasy VII? Like, ever?
No.
Like, I feel like you've never been into those Final Fantasy games, bro?
Never.
You never been to Final Fantasy?
I wanted to give them a shot. It's a contender.
They're pretty good, dude. So, so kind of like a Cloud Strife. Like, very... Like, I don't want to talk shit about this character. He's a pretty good character. But, like, at the same time, he's like a one-note character where he's just that stoic swordsman guy. Like, he's just strong. Like, he's just, like... He doesn't care. Like, he's, like... stereotypical, like, not douche. Well, he comes off a douchey where he doesn't care, like his
like arrogant, maybe.
Yeah, arrogant in a way. So Guts is presented as that person, but like in a sense you understand that he like that is kind of like not for I wouldn't say it's like a facade, but like where there's more to that character. And you haven't read that far. I feel like as you read more,
there's a lot to him as it is.
One of the greatest things about Guts is that he doesn't stay the same throughout the series.
Yeah, like it's a flat character arc just in
in the presentation.
In the Black Swordsman arc.
Yeah, that's in the presentation, he comes across as this cool, calm, collected character.
Oh, yeah.
Like he's like a killing machine. Like almost like a Terminator. Like he's like he's very stoic, but like there's more to him. So I feel like as you read the story, like one of the greatest things about Guts is like he changes throughout the story as a character. He doesn't stay one like flat. No, like let's say like Goku. That's like that character stays the same throughout the series. Have you watched One Piece?
No, not really.
Okay, so Luffy, the main character, stays kind of relatively the same throughout the series. Or like Naruto. You remember Naruto?
Yeah.
Naruto kind of relatively stays the same throughout. There's a slight
it's like
changes.
flat character. Yeah.
Very flat character.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of weird because it's like those characters are likable in a way because they're like they're like the over accentuation. I don't know that's a word. But like over like the characters like Naruto, like let's say, like he's like the underdog. You root for him regardless because he has a crutch to him. Like he's just a sucky.
Well, he's got the origin story.
Yeah,
he's got the hidden potential. He's got the outcast thing going on.
You innately feel bad for him.
You innately feel bad for him.
But he kind of stays the same throughout the whole episode.
Yeah.
Or like there's.
But Naruto's pretty good. I would say Naruto's pretty good.
What do you mean?
The beginning. I would say the Naruto. Yeah, it's so.
No, like I'm saying, no. We've talked about this. Like the beginning of that show is really good.
I think it just goes on for too long. I feel like if it's a show that would have ended sooner, it would be an all-time classic.
Yeah, I know. Or like it would have kept itself more like. You remember like the first arc. I feel like the first arc of Naruto is so good.
It's nasty, yeah.
It's like with Zabuza.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Is so
everything
nasty.
leading up to that, yeah, and the exams
and the way they fight, right?
Yeah, it's nasty.
I feel like that's the only like arc in that show that feels like they're fighting like ninjas.
Yeah, and the stakes felt high, like in that whole arc as well.
Like
right?
I feel like that it was more of a very guttural show like that. I feel like it was very let's say like because the way let's say like Kakashi like like when they let's say Kakashi gets stuck in the water prison, right? And the way they outsmart Zabuza is by like it's not they overpower him, is that they just outthink him, where it's like Sasuke and Naruto acting together to overcome Zabuza. Like Naruto becomes the demon wind shurikens, where Zabuza jumps over it, and it's like, oh, he's actually not the demon wind shuriken. He's transforming and he throws the like that type of shit. Like you're trying to like out trick or outsmart your opponent instead of like,
which is how ninjas would fight, right? Like
they will try to out trick
and shit like
that. So that's the way they would fight. Yeah, so like that first arc is so good,
and that ties back to a lesson they learned when they were training.
Yeah, right.
So it makes their training feel real.
Yeah, so like I'm saying that arc is
excellent.
Like I feel like if the show kept on,
kind of like, thematically, kind of
like
that,
the same arc, like kind of like it's kind of like guttural and let's say like then like DBZ fights like where they're trying to overpower each other, where actually they're trying to outsmart each other.
Yeah.
You know, where Kakashi in that arc, he's like the way he beats Zabuza in the first arc is like he kind of just copies his techniques because he has the Sharingan, right?
Yeah, right. That mystery review or whatever.
Yeah, so he copies his techniques and he kind of just out psychs him that way, like with pretty much like copying his training, his movements, like so he's able to overpower him that way. So that's his trick. That's Kakashi's trick, that he kind of uses your jutsu against you in a way that you're like, what the fuck? So it kind of out-psychs you in a way. And then Zabuza was...
world building because he had a reputation.
Yeah, right?
It's called Copycat Ninja.
Yeah, right? Copycat Ninja.
So it's so sick that Zabuza is like this
specialized killer, right?
And he knows of Kakashi, right? Like,
yeah, right?
So that makes
Kakashi of the Sharingan, the Copycat Ninja.
Yeah, so it makes you like... add so much more intrigue. You learn more about Kakashi, but it adds even more intrigue, right? So
that's what I'm saying.
It's
like,
a super tight arc.
That arc is so good because it's like Kakashi like outmaneuvering his patient at their own game. So it kind of gives you like understanding Kakashi. Mm-hmm. So it makes him feel like a good like a pretty good overpowered character. Like, oh, this is what Naruto wants to attain. Like someone like Kakashi, who is this ninja who can outmaneuver his patient by using their own styles against them. And I feel like that, like if Naruto would have kept that that type of like theme alive throughout the show, it would have been such a great show. Like we follow Naruto to the very end. Like it gets very
I don't like what Naruto turned into. I would say. all of including Shippuden as well. I don't really like what it turned into, but I will always respect kind of like the beginning arcs or whatever of Naruto. I think it's still a good show regardless, but it's a good show.
It's a mediocre show.
In the end, it averaged out to be a decent show. In the end, that's what it averaged out to be. But in the beginning, I don't think it was.
It was pretty good.
It wasn't mediocre. So
yeah, so
even up to like where like Gaara comes and interrupts and those kinds of fights, like you could still buy
like
into
Rock
them.
Lee versus Gaara. Yeah,
you could
like,
still
that
buy
was
into
a pretty
all
good
that
fight.
shit,
Like someone who's super defensive or someone who outperforms in like the physical,
right, and also like the talented versus the
the underdog or whatever.
So so there's still, you can get behind a lot of that, or at least I got behind it. But I think a core principle with these kinds of flat characters is that there's a principle that they believe in. That at the very least, that's what motivates them. Goku's drive to always fight stronger people. Naruto's drive to
become Hokage or whatever.
Hokage. Berserk's kind of like, or rather, Guts is kind of like vengeance or whatever for the instance and for like whatever. I'm summing it up, right?
I wish we would read more.
But
we can talk about the aspect. The revenge part.
That's gonna be the next special episode. But it takes a while though. So it's gonna be a special episode sometime in the future.
Because I want you to read the whole thing because the thing is like So I'm saying like Guts really developed as a character. That's what it goes back to. Like my rant about flat characters is that Guts I feel like changes the character and it kind of humanizes
just to close the
in
point,
a lot of ways.
Invincible. What's the principle that he lived by?
It was just like
not really. It's just like he
just wants to be like his dad, pretty much.
But then not really, because he rejected it.
Yeah. Oh,
at the end. Because he found out what it was.
Yeah, at the end.
Yeah. So.
But I'm saying like the ideal. That's what I'm saying. Like the ideal of his dad.
He had no ideal.
So like what you call? I forgot his name, but Invincible. Not Invincible. Fuck, what's the dad's character thing?
Omni-Man.
Omni-Man. There, sorry. Like Omni-Man is like a worse written Griffith in a way.
Yeah.
Because he has like the aspects of Griffith. He's
ready to sacrifice the whole planet.
Yeah, but like in a way, like he's like a worse written way.
Yeah, like not as interesting.
Not as interesting, right? Like he's more like Griffith is like Griffith's like perceived form is that basic character, but there's more to him as opposed to like Omni-Man. Like he's that perceived character, but you kind of like see that coming from the story itself.
Also, another thing is I thought of so many solutions to fight Omni-Man. Like I can't believe that these super genius characters couldn't think of it. First of all, the robot was able to recreate a body. Right. Omni-Man had a son who has the same powers, so obviously everything's genetic. Why wouldn't he just be able to get some DNA off Omni-Man? He leaves blood everywhere. Recreate a second Omni-Man that you control. Okay, well, you have Omni-Man versus Omni-Man. That's it's one solution. You can think about it.
Yeah,
right. Solution number 2 is you have Atom. Right, she literally just splits apart atoms. This guy's made of things.
Yeah, he's obviously
she can kill him easily. You just gotta get her kind of close enough. That's another option, right? Like, there's a lot of options, but the only thing that they can think of is like Invincible has to fight him, like his son has to fight him, like.
Or there's
they can't.
In Berserk, there's no how do you deal with Demon Griffith? So you kind of learn that the character has to take on certain. So the character has. It never got to that point because like obviously like that's like the trophy ending, like Guts fights Griffith again and kind of over. But I don't know, dude. That's like that's the most tragic thing is like we never know how it's gonna end.
What a tragic ending for a tragic.
Dude, for the tragic saga. Series, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel like in a way I understood that this is the way it was gonna be. Like it was gonna be an unfinished story. Like I knew because like Miro was like up there in his 50s, bro. I mean the average lifespan of Japanese is like 80. So honestly, by the way he's been fucking putting out chapters like sometimes once a year or not even at all. So it's like he was gonna die before he finished the story.
That's crazy. Well,
honestly,
I'm gonna cherish the arcs that we have.
It's really tragic, dude. It's tragic because like damn, bro, this is honestly one of the greatest stories ever told.
It's
contemporarily.
It's biblical.
Like
it's like a Lord of the Rings kind of story.
Yeah,
like
I feel like it's very influential. I can't wait till we play Dark Souls because like you can, because Dark Souls it keeps up like the theme with the manga. It's very subtle. Like there is little to no cutscenes in Dark Souls.
I like that.
There's literally the beginning cuts. I think in Dark Souls 1 is literally the beginning cutscene that kind of sets up this like the story you're in, and then there's probably like a cutscene here. Like some bosses have cutscenes at the beginning, but like it's just literally them like dropping down like, and that's it.
Okay, yeah. Little cinematic.
You want me to show you? I've been playing Elden Ring. You want me to show you that game?
Yeah, sure.
If you're down.
Yeah.
No,
okay,
I can't wait till you play that game, dude.
One last thing. I want to talk about my. I don't know if I got to really mention what Void's design is like all about. Like I think it's so sick. I think
Void's design
the coolest design.
Dope as fuck.
It might be my favorite design, but I also think it's the coolest design. Yeah.
There's Slan. What is it? Slan, Void. I always forget the other two. Like the fat one and the pretty small one. Yeah. What do you think of like the God Hand?
I think they're all cool as fuck. I think the name God Hand stand like on the fist and
right, and they're all like standing there and like
they look so sick, man. It's just I don't know how you can design such cool characters. Void, like he's got the exposed brain with the eye stitch and then like the thing like tied back or whatever. And then he's got like the Dracula cape.
Yeah. And he's like a skeletal figure. Yeah.
And then I didn't know, like, I love that I got just a taste of what fighting him would be like, right? Because when Skeleton breaks the eclipse, and then you also got a taste. The warp. You also got to see a little bit of how Skeleton Knight fights too. Yeah, right? Like how like you could tell. Oh man, this guy's a real warrior, right? Like he.
Or like the very subtle, because there's a panel where they look at each other, because they recognize each other.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't. Yeah.
So as you go through the story, you go into the story. You
sick.
You kind of like Skull Knight's like background is never truly explained, but at like around the end, it's kind of hinted at.
That's so nasty, dude.
So there's a panel where it's just Void, and there's a panel where Skull Knight, they're looking at each other.
Is this
because they recognize
in the end of the eclipse scene?
Yeah. When Skull Knight breaks the eclipse, he comes at the end, and then he thrusts toward Void, and he does the warp. I think there's a panel where it's just like Void, like, and Skull Knight looking down because the subtleties like they recognize each other. So there's more to that, and he saves Casca and Guts.
That's so crazy. But I like how he blocks the shot too, right, with the shield. Right.
He like.
So he counters, right. He's ready for like the.
So that's what I'm saying. He understands what Void's attacks are.
Exactly. Right, they're like so experienced battlers.
Or they understand. They know their enemy. Void knows who Skull Knight is, and Skull Knight knows who Void is. Yeah. That's why when he thrusts and he counters, have you seen the movies?
No,
like
I haven't.
the newly.
I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen anything, dude.
The movies are okay.
Also,
but like there's like
isn't there like a 3-part like Golden Age movie?
Yeah.
Like 3-part like 3
movies?
Yeah,
I think Richard told you about the first one, right?
I don't know. Probably. I don't know. I don't remember.
I remember we had this conversation.
Really?
Yeah, because he watched it. I don't know. They used to all be on Netflix.
We should watch it one day, like kind of binge.
What? Oh hell yeah, I'll watch it. Like they're not like they're considered not that good because they don't interpret everything. But I feel like they're when you read the manga, they're serviceable.
All right. One last thing I want to say is about that scene there is I forget where I heard this. I heard someone quote this, and it's like someone said like I think it was like a Russian writer. He said if you put like a gun on the table and that gun isn't used by the end of act 2 or something, then the gun should have never been there. something like that, right? So whatever information you use, you put in there, you kind of want to use. So what I like about about Scott tonight is that you kind of see you see what he's like. You know, he's got the sword and the shield and whatever, and you kind of and the horse, right? You kind of see him use. He fights like he's so well designed. Everything is so complementary. It's like he fights the way that he looks, kind of prepared and experienced and kind of versatile, right? He's always on a horse, so he's actually very fast, even though he's big, right? And he's quick with the draw, right? Because he's offensive and defensive, right? Has the as opposed to Guts. You look at his design. He's just pure strength, and that's the way he fights.
He's like the tank, right?
He's like the tank. He's always pretty much gonna take hits, and he has a giant weapon, right? So he's gonna like. Oh, I love that line. I think this was in the Convict. I think this was this was after
the Eclipse?
Golden Age. Yeah, Eclipse, Golden Age. But when you see the origins of the sword, is that at the end of Golden Age or the beginning of Conviction?
I think that's around the beginning of Conviction, right?
I think it is.
Where he gets the really big sword.
Yeah, and then I like that the Smith says, right, this sword is was like
it's like a useless slab.
It's a useless slab of iron or whatever because it's only meant to drag.
It's designed to kill dragons.
It's designed to kill dragons, right? And then she's like, do dragons exist? Right? He's like, no, dragons don't exist. Dragons are something that people can't kill, so they don't exist. Right? I thought, and so it's a useless sword. And I thought that was so deep. Dude, what did you think of that? You thought, what did you think of that?
I think it's so cool because like in Dark Souls and Elden Ring, when you get like a great sword like that, and it literally uses the same design. It's like a useless slab of.
That's funny.
It's like a useless slab, like it's like monstrosity. It's only meant to it's hyperbolized. Like it's only meant to kill dragons because it's like almost hyperbolized.
But the thing is, dragons don't exist. Yeah, because the only thing that a dragon is something that a human can't kill. Yeah, and the fact that you have this sword means that there is no such thing as a dragon because it can kill anything. Right? It's like so it's like so. It's like
it complements the character completely.
Yeah. And it's also like it's like Guts' mentality exemplified, right?
Like the theory is that Guts created the trope where it's like a big bulky character with a big bulky sword.
Oh, so think about it. Trying to think of something before him.
Think about it. Like, dude, I wish you would play Final Fantasy 7 because Final Fantasy 7 is like Berserk for like kids. It's like baby's first
funny.
Berserk.
That's funny.
Baby's first because Sephiroth is kind of like Griffith. He has a long silver hair. Okay, but he kind of carries a kind of like an edged sword.
When did Berserk start?
No, Berserk started before.
Yeah. But
so my theory is that I feel like it's pretty obvious that is that my sister?
Yeah, I think so.
So it's pretty obvious that Final Fantasy VII was inspired by Berserk.
Yeah, but I want to know like the difference in year.
What do you mean? Oh,
like how much sooner Berserk came out?
No, Berserk came out in the 1990s, and in like the early.
19. Do you know the exact
it was
year?
So have you read the prototype Berserk?
It's in the it's in the deluxe. It's in the middle.
Yeah.
Right?
So you read the prototype?
Yeah.
You read the prototype?
Yeah, I did.
What do you think about the prototype?
It's like a less refined version, a more simplistic version. It had inner workings of it.
Yeah,
right?
it's almost like
the creature wasn't as
like a traitor, right?
It was like a trailer, but
because
like,
you can
there's
see
still things that
because there's like aspects of the main characters like like do you remember the girl? Like she's very similar to Griffith, the girl that in
girl.
Because
I remember he still had Puck. And he had like the eye patch. Yeah. And then he goes to kill a monster.
Yeah, and there's a girl.
And there's like kids.
Yeah, and the girl is very like designing wise to Griffin.
Oh, I don't think I noticed that. I didn't notice that. Do you remember what the monster looks like?
I forgot.
It's like a regular looking monster. It just kind of has like teeth.
I think I'm gonna read the
But the thing is the monster designs in
the point
actual actual Berserk is they're like much more
detailed,
detailed, but they're much more interesting. He does like really bizarre things with the monster designs, where the other ones kind of have like a basic like
basic
just arms, legs, and like kind of spiky kind of
it looks like it looks like
it has like claws, just like a regular monster.
Yeah,
but these are more like demonic, I guess, something like that.
Yeah, they're very otherworldly.
Yeah,
in a way, like
very
they're very
warping, mind warped.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
they're like what's it like body horror.
Yes, yeah.
They're like, it's like something you would think of a nightmare. Yeah, like something very like.
And I think it's a way better direction. Yeah. It just adds to all the themes of demons and shit like that. Cause fuck man. Yeah, so it's
like you can tell he definitely like.
It's crazy.
You can tell it's like a very thoughtful author.
Yeah, no, it's
like
crazy.
You can tell like this is like somebody who's like. Yeah, like I'm saying, he's very thoughtful.
Yeah, it's crazy that someone could write something like that. Like
Yeah, it's like it's definitely like is like, because essentially like, when you say work of art, it's like very basic because everything is a work of art, but
not all works of art are created equal.
Yeah. So I'm saying like it's definitely like when I think of the word art, like I would that's something I would pop into my head, right? Because essentially like. What we're doing right now is technically art. We're creating something. That's like the essence of art. You creation of something.
Yeah.
But when you think of the word art, you think of like BERSERK, because they are a work of art. I don't need to keep reading, bro.
Yeah. All right, I'm ready to close it off. Let's see how much we did.
It?
Almost 1 hour and 47 minutes. I think it's good. That's enough for a special, bro.
That is.
Yeah, it's too much. We can't.
It's almost 2 hours. Let it go.
All right.